Let's start with the question. Why do people take MDMA? What makes this drug so popular in party scenes, music festivals, and even in some therapeutic settings? The answer is euphoria, this intense feeling of emotional warmth, connection, and an elevated mood. But there's a lot more going on beneath the surface. MDMA doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how your brain works. In this presentation, we're going to break down what MDMA actually is, how it produces these powerful effects, and what the short and long-term consequences are from a neuroscience and a psychopharmacology perspective. Whether you've heard it called ecstasy or Molly, we'll show how it influences brain chemistry and behavior and why that short-term high can come with serious long-term risks.
MDMA stands for 3,4-methylene dioxymethamphetamine. It is a synthetic drug made in a lab to mimic stimulants like methamphetamine, but with added emotional and sensory effects. It is often taken as colorful pills, capsules, or powders, sometimes with playful logos, but its effects are far from harmless. MDMA is classified as a Schedule I substance, meaning it's illegal and has no medically approved use. Still, it is widely used recreationally, especially in party and rave environments, because it increases energy, empathy, and emotional connection, at least temporarily.
Let's take a look at the behavioral side effects both during and after use. MDMA initially increases libido and sociability. People often feel closer, more loving, and more open. But over time, the opposite can happen. Chronic use may lower libido and cause insomnia, depression, and anxiety. These aren't just mood changes, they're tied to real changes in brain chemistry. Users also often experience confusion, memory loss, and trouble focusing. These cognitive effects are especially concerning because they can last long after the high wears off. Another danger is serotonin syndrome, a potentially life-threatening condition caused by too much serotonin activity. When MDMA is combined with other serotonergic drugs like antidepressants, the risk increases. Symptoms include agitation, rapid heartbeat, high body temperature, and in severe cases, seizures or death.
Pharmacokinetics looks at how MDMA moves through the body. After ingestion, MDMA is rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream, with effects usually felt within 30 to 45 minutes. Peak effects tend to occur around 1 to 2 hours in, and the total experience can last 3 to 6 hours, depending on the dose and the person's metabolism. The liver metabolizes MDMA primarily through the CYP2D6 enzyme. This process can be slow, especially in people with enzyme variations, which increases the duration and intensity of effects. Interestingly, enzyme saturation can occur at higher doses, meaning that the body can't break down the drug efficiently, leading to the buildup and higher toxicity risk.
So what's going on in the brain to cause all this? MDMA primarily targets the serotonin transporter, also known as SERT, on presynaptic neurons. Instead of binding to serotonin receptors directly, MDMA binds to SERT and blocks the reuptake of serotonin. This causes serotonin to flood the synapse and repeatedly activate postsynaptic neurons. This is why people feel euphoric and emotionally elevated. Serotonin is the key neurotransmitter behind mood and bonding. At the same time, MDMA also weakly affects dopamine and norepinephrine transporters. That's what adds the stimulant qualities like increased energy and focus.
So why do these effects happen? Here's the chain reaction. Block the SERT, serotonin builds up in the synapse, mood and sensory perception skyrocket. Dopamine and norepinephrine pitch in to keep you moving and alert, but the brain can't keep this up forever. Once neurotransmitters are depleted, the come down effect kicks in. Overuse can result in long-term disruption of the serotonin system and even neurotoxicity, which means there is damage to the neurons responsible for mood, memory, and emotional processing.
Now, let's discuss tolerance and withdrawal. When someone uses MDMA frequently, the brain adapts by downregulating serotonin receptors, meaning they become less responsive, and that's where tolerance comes in. People start needing more of the drug to feel the same effects, which increases the risk of serotonin damage and long-term mental health issues. Withdrawal symptoms include depression, fatigue, and trouble concentrating, all caused by serotonin depletion and the brain trying to rebalance itself. Interestingly, MDMA doesn't build strong metabolic tolerance like alcohol or nicotine. Instead, it's more about pharmacodynamic tolerance, which means the body's receptors adapt and become less sensitive over time.
Our sources include clinical research from Therapeutic Drug Monitoring, the Canadian Medical Association Journal, and the National Institute on Drug Abuse.
To wrap it up, MDMA may feel like a shortcut to connection and happiness, but it hijacks the brain's natural chemistry in risky ways. Its long term effects can be damaging and sometimes irreversible.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.